What is going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs, and today we're going to explore the most realistic ink bleed yet.
Dreadlabs.
Alright, so I don't know about you, but I've always wondered what is the best way to make the most realistic ink bleed effect on your designs. This, of course, has been a huge trend in graphic design for a few years now, and I think I discovered the most realistic way. So the quest is to make your designs look more authentic, right? Like they have to be hand printed or hand drawn. And that's exactly the way we're going to approach this today. Let's say you have a client who wants a really nice album cover done, but he wants the most realistic ink bleed possible, and he's willing to pay you a ton of money for this. If this is your situation, then I have the solution. So you're already probably wondering, what Photoshop filter will do this? What plugin do I need? Which Photoshop action did you make or did you find? And it's none. The only things you're gonna need is this, and a printer and a scanner. And now you probably already know what we're gonna do today. We are going to live trace our designs, scanning them back into Photoshop to make the most realistic ink bleed yet. So I printed out this really basic design thing to test it out with, because I don't want to spend here 5 hours tracing a full design. But yeah, we're gonna test this out on this piece of paper and we'll see where to go from here. Alright, so we have our design here and we have what is called a light table. At least it's called that in Dutch. Basically what this thing does is, let me turn it on. It'll provide light from the bottom up so you can see your design on another piece of paper. Alright, so we're gonna use some tape to paint this to our light table. I'm gonna keep calling that. And we're going to place one piece of paper on top and tape that together as well. Right, now it's just a matter of tracing it. And I'm using a Micron 08. It's a 0.5mm fine liner. Basically, I think you can just use any fine liner for that matter. And we're just going to test if we can, well, trace this. Right, so I'm a few lines in, and you're probably wondering why I'm only doing the outlines. That's because we're going to fill this in once we're into Photoshop. I'm going to finish the rest with the camera a little bit to the side, so I have a little bit more room to work with, and I'll see you after the rest of the time lapse. Alright, I think we're done. As you might have seen in the time lapse, I've also used this Pigma fine brush pen just to check if it will make a difference. So I'm just gonna scan this in and I'll see you in the next part. Alright, so the settings I'm gonna go with are black and white and 1200 dpi, and this one is very important because this one determines how much detail there will be in your scan. So no image correction, we want to do that all by ourselves in Photoshop, and we're just gonna scan it and see how it looks. Alright, so that took quite a while, so let's see how much detail we actually have. Alright. Let's drag this into Photoshop and see where it goes. Alright, so this looks really crispy. I'm just gonna add a white background. And I think we're gonna fix this with the levels adjustment. So first let's make sure that this is actually like straightened out. Alright, so let's drag in a levels. And we're just gonna drag these dark parts in. And let's see what this does to the detail. Alright, so I'm just going to start painting everything in, and then we're going to keep playing with the levels adjustments here. Alright guys, so I'm finally finished, and now looking at this, it's probably not worth the time. So if we zoom in here, I'm just gonna make the fill invisible for a second. Okay, I love this texture, but yeah, in hindsight, I should have probably just filled it in with a marker. Would have taken less time, and you would bring the texture right back. So one thing I'm gonna try is to simulate that texture onto my fill here. So I'm just gonna bring in a paper pack texture here real quick, and we'll clip it onto there. What I wanted to do is see if we can bring in a curves here and make this almost black and leave these like tiny white little speckles, I don't know what to call them, in. And okay, this looks a little bit better, but now we can see that there's a fair difference in between the paper texture and the actual ink So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a black and white gradient map and see if we can fix that by dragging in this black color. And I think this should be good. So it takes away a little bit of the detail, which is sad, but yeah. And this is all a big experiment. See if I could do it, see if it was worth it. And this is the end result, and I'll zoom in on one of the details one more time. In conclusion, I think this would be best if you did this for like illustrations and stuff. Fill in all of the lines, so don't draw the lines in and then fill them in Photoshop like I did. If it's worth for design pieces, probably not. Maybe something we can try next is printing a design out and scanning it back in. So we're not going to retrace it, but we will probably just scan it back in and see what the results of that are. Anyways guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. I know the result is a little bit disappointing, but sometimes when you experiment, stuff like that happens. Regardless of that, I want to thank my patrons for supporting me and the channel. So if you don't know, if you become a patron, you'll get access to all of my project files and my tutorials, 15% discount in the Dreadlabs web store, as well as a cool Discord role and an exclusive channel there. So if you want to become a patron, there's a link in the description. I just want to thank you guys for watching. This was Tom from Dreadlabs, tuning out. See you in the next video.